I'm just going to start out by saying Bill Burr rocks. And this episode was definitely better than the last few. Hey, everybody, I'm Scott, and welcome to Sporking News Podcast. If you like what you hear here, please hit that subscription button, ding the bell. We go over sci-fi, fantasy. We do movie reviews, TV reviews, also some news, some spoiler stuff. And please make sure if you have been subscribed, you still are. YouTube is going through some type of cleanse, and I've lost, for me, a lot of subscribers. People have been DMing me and letting me know on Twitter. So please double check. And if you like what you hear here and you're new, please, give me a chance. Thanks. So we're going to go over The Mandalorian. This is Chapter 6, The Prisoner, and I got notes. So I'll tell you what I feel about it afterwards. But let's just run through it real quick so we can remember what we saw. So we start out with Baby Yoda and the Mandalorian flying. They have left Tatooine from last episode, thank God. And now they're in space flying. And they're coming up on a space station. All right, so the Razor Crest lands into the space station, and we're introduced to our first character of this one, and that is Ranzer. He's played by, Mark Boone Jr. You would know him as the dopey cop in Batman Begins, but probably best from Sons of Anarchy. He's a great actor. He's been in everything. I mean, he literally pops up in almost everything. But door opens. They start to talk. They have a history. So at least we find out that they used to run together in the old days, they keep saying. So he has a job for him. And Razner wants him to help a crew he has. They need one other guy to spring somebody who's in a New Republic prison transport ship. And it's an unmanned ship. It's only supposed to have droids. And we know how the Mandalorian feels about droids. He hates them. So we then find out, okay, so we meet the rest of the cast. All right, so Raznar introduces him. We first meet Mayfield. Mayfield is the great Bill Burr. And if you don't know who Bill Burr is, man, and you are sick and tired of like agenda politics and SJW stuff, please check him out. Okay, his last Paper Tiger was awesome. So we're introduced to him. He's a sharpshooter. He was a former Empire sharpshooter. They kind of joke with him about that, and he gets mad and he's like, "I'm not a stormtrooper," which was kind of funny, even though stormtroopers get a bad rap for their shooting. But he was a sharpshooter, so a much better shot. He does make a comment about the Razor's Crest, like, "Oh, we're supposed to be flying that thing. It's like a Canto Bite slot machine." So yay, we get the sequel stuff. It's in universe, fine, whatever. Just bleh. Then we meet Berg, who is a demon-looking massive man, and it's played by Clancy Brown, who, if you don't know Clancy Brown, he's been in a ton of things too. And off the top of my head, I can't think of it. So let's just take a quick look, because he was in one of these shows that was on HBO for a really short time that I loved. And they canceled it. But he was in Shawshank. He was in Starship Troopers, Thor Ragnarok, Warcraft. I mean, he's been in everything. I wish I remembered the show on HBO. He was like a preacher who had this like crazy tattoo on his back. If anybody remembers what that is, drop it in the comments below. Thanks. So he's like the muscle. So we got the sharpshooter, we got the muscle, and then we meet Zion, and that's Natalie Jen. I always screw up her last name. She was on Game of Thrones. She played one of the, I'm messing up right now, and I don't like to record more than I do, so I'm just going to keep going with it. But she was the wildling they caught in the woods that tried to, they were trying to head south, and she became part of the family and helped Bran go to the north. Why can't I remember her name? I don't know, because my brain's shot. So then we meet Zero. Zero is a droid, okay? And that's by Richard Ayoda. Ayoda plays him. Now, Richard Zero is going to pilot the Razor Crest, which the Mandalorian does not like. He hates droids, but there's some crazy technical move. They have to drop out of hyperspace to land on top of this transport, so they're undetected. And that's the reason why he wants the Razor Crest, because for all the years, I guess we don't know how many years because we don't know much about the Mandalorian. But I guess the years prior, he's always stayed under the radar of both the Republic and the Empire. So no one really knows that ship. So, I mean, it's a nutty move and he's quicker reflexes. So the Mandalorian agrees. So you see this crew, and this crew is, I was hoping Bill Burr was like part of his crew. I thought we were kind of given a feel in the trailers in the beginning that like he was going to form a group of like a mercenary crew, you know, like Gina Carano would be one and Bill Burr and, you know, but we're getting different show every single episode since episode 3. It's a different show every episode. So, so this group, you know, there's a lot of tension, you know, and I like that. Like usually when you have like a heist and they're like all people that don't know each other, there's like, you know, posturing and alpha male, you know, dominating, trying to figure out who's going to be really the leader of that group or who's going to take the lead role. So, you know, they're kind of going back and forth at each other. So they end up getting on the ship. Zero takes off. Zero's playing with the controls, and for some reason he's able, I don't know why the Mandalorian didn't delete it, but you get Apollo Creed's message about episode 2 when he caught Baby Yoda and was going to, or beginning of episode 3 when he was going to, you know, bring him to the client. And Zero just says, yeah, you know, peculiar or interesting, something like that. So the next thing we see is they're all down below where the guns are, and Berg opens it up somehow, and he's like looking at the guns, and the Mandalorian comes and like shuts it. And they all start talking a little junk. Him and Mayfield start, and they somehow, I think it's like he pushes Mayfield and the door opens, and guess who's in the closet but Baby Yoda. And Bill Berg's like, whoa, you know, is that your pet? He actually even says, do you get lonely up there? You know, like, oh, it's for kids. But, you know, he slipped that one in. I love you, Bill Berg. And then he asks if Xian and him made the Baby Yoda. And she's like, a woman never tells. I love Natalie as an actress, but she's definitely one of those people that kind of overacts, you know, very aggressive actor. So next we see, he's like, oh, maybe I'll drop. Oh. And he's like, Bill Burr's pretending to drop Baby Yoda. And then before the Mandalorian could do anything, Zero comes out of hyperspace, doesn't warn him, and everybody goes flying, and Baby Yoda lands flat on his face. Awesome. I hate Baby Yoda. Though for one moment in this episode we'll get to, I actually liked Baby Yoda. It was funny. But so they land, open the door, Bill Burr packs through. It's clear they all jump down. Now they see some of these droids going by. I've never seen this type of droid on Star Wars. If you have, let me know where, but they're, you know, walking around just doing their rounds. And then one of those little mouse droids pops up from the original trilogy, and Berg does something and kills it. And that sets off, they get attacked by the actual like prison guard droids. So they're getting shot out, they're pinned down, and somehow the Mandalorian gets behind him and he just puts a smackdown on these droids, and everybody's just watching in shock. I mean, he takes out like 5 or 6 of them, and he's using everything in his arsenal. He's using his grappling, he's using his flamethrower, he's shooting them, he's you know, just jumping around, killing everybody. And he destroys them all one-handed, and you even see Bill Burr like give a whoa, but then shakes it off, you know, like, I'm not going to let him know. I think that was awesome. There was a human on board, and that was a guy named Davon, played by Matt Latner, who I actually looked up because I thought he sounded familiar. He was the voice of Anakin Skywalker on the Clone Wars. You know, he has this transponder, and he's like pulls it out, and he has the guns on them, and he's like, if I, you know, and they're like, what is that? And it's a transponder. Wherever that is, the Republic will send, you know, fighter jets, X-Wings. But to me, it's a death squad. And they're trying to, the Mandalorian's trying to talk him down, and Bill Burr wants to shoot him. And now the Mandalorian has guns on those guys. Well, Xanth just throws a knife and kills him. So, but he hit it. It set it off. They have 20 minutes. So they get to the gate. They open it up. And I'm sorry if you hear that. That's one of my little ones crying. She's not feeling well. They open the door and there's this new guy. It's Quinn. Quinn is related. It's the brother of Zion. And you could tell him and the Mandalorian have a history. He actually says, oh, the man who put me in here is the one who's springing me. And there's a tense moment, and they kick the Mandalorian in and shut it, and they leave him in there. So they double-crossed him, and they start to take off. Well, the Mandalorian, trying to figure a way out, he watches a droid walk by, shoots his grappling, pulls it, kills it, rips off its arm, and uses the arm, because there's a little pin that comes out that goes into like the what I like to call the R2D2 hard drive thing he does when he's like trying to open up doors and stuff. Into that, opens it up, it's out. He goes back to the control room and he starts shutting down the lights, opening and shutting doors to separate them all. And this is just, the next scene is pretty good. It's just him going around fighting each one of them individually. And like Berg, so massively strong, and he's trying to use those Whistler things that were heat sinking or guidance last time, but missed him completely. I don't know why. And then, but he takes him out because he drops a door on him, and Berg like lifts it, and then the door goes sideways. Boom, out. Takes out Zion. The best fight was him and Bill Berg. Because of the way like the lighting would go dark and then red, and like the Mandalorian would pop behind him in the distance, and then like the light would shut off, and then he'd be gone, and the light shut on, and then he's closer, and then Bill Berg turned around, and then he was behind him, took him out. So he catches up with Quinn, and now Quinn is almost at the door, and he's like, look, I will help you, or if you don't bring me back, you won't get paid. That's the deal. Now, Quinn already promised Berg triple what he got paid to kill the Mandalorian, but the Mandalorian thinks about it. I guess he needs money bad. Why? We don't know. So he takes him back. So now on and off, we jump back to the ship where Zero is, and he's seeing that transmission again. And I believe Baby Yoda is like behind him, and he like turns and then looks and then turns back and then turns, and Baby Yoda's gone. So he starts going around the ship while those guys are doing their thing on the space station, looking for Baby Yoda with a gun. So he's probably going to kill him. I don't know if he put two and two together and realized that was the package. So maybe he wants to bring it in. You don't know because nothing's said. Baby Yoda's like sneaking around and hiding, so he's aware enough to know he shouldn't have popped up first and saw this guy. Droid, Zero, whatever. Baby Yoda ends up back in the closet. The closet door opens. He has the gun on Baby Yoda, and this is the best part. Baby Yoda like starts to try to use the Force on Zero, and Zero is aiming at him, and then boom, Zero's dead. Well, Baby Yoda looks at his hand like, did I do that? Well, no, it was the Mandalorian who shot him. It was a funny part, but I thought that was good. So they leave, fly back to the Raznar space station. Raznar's like, where's the rest of the crew? Mandalorian says, remember, no questions asked. He says, you're right, pays him. Later, they fly off. The minute he flies off, nice and, taking his time to get up, I guess, put in hyperspeed. I don't know. Raznar's like, take him down. And they bring a gunship up, and they're about to take off and kill, blow up the Razor's Crest. But yet they hear a beeping. And what was it? Mandalorian slipped it into Quinn's back pocket, that transponder. So all of a sudden, 3 X-Wings come out of nowhere. The Razor Crest goes right by him and flies away. They never say like, oh, let's get that guy. And it's the 3 pilots, which was kind of cool. You have the director of the episode, Rick Famuyiwa. I'm terrible with names like Smith, so I apologize if I screwed that up. He's known for directing The Wood. He produced the show Dope. You might know him from that. And then the other pilots are Dave Filoni, who we know who Dave Filoni is, and Deborah Chow, who is actually did one of my favorite episodes, and she's also doing the next or the last episode. So that was pretty cool. And they just blow the space. They just start shooting. It's like a death squad. No, like, let's figure out what's going on. No, let's land on, like, Why is this transponder that was supposed to be at the transport ship here? No, they just shoot that son of a bitch up. So I guess, they're done. We don't know. I can't remember if it explodes or not. But that's how it ends. And then the Mandalorian gives Baby Yoda the ball, the little thing that he was playing with a couple episodes back. Oh, yay. So how do I feel about the episode? So far, it is like tied with episode 3. It was a very good episode. I was into it. I enjoyed it. I wish that crew was in this more. I love Bill Burr. Clancy Brown is amazing. Natalie's amazing. Like, I wish the show was a little bit different. Okay. And people are like kind of on me about that. And it's just my feelings. I thought this show would have an interwoven plot. And maybe like, yes, it was going to be like a spaghetti Western and he might be in different spots every time and he might solve some issue every episode, but there was something that interwove them all. I have no clue what he's been doing the last few episodes, where he's headed, what happened to his other Mandalorian brothers. I don't know, and that's what's frustrating. And I don't know if they're going to tie it up in these next 2 episodes, but it would have been nice to get a little hint. I mean, it's such a short season of a cohesive story. And that's what's bothering me about this show. I love that there is no agenda to it. It's just in-world, references in the galaxy, in the universe of Star Wars. So for that, I tip my hat to them. And that's why I'm still watching. I enjoy it. I just don't love it. Like, a lot of people love it. And I don't know if that's because we finally got a kernel of something good, a little piece of a cookie. I want the whole freaking big cookie. I want the one with, like, can I say M&Ms? Will I get copyrighted for that? I don't care. M&Ms all over it, or maybe like macadamia nuts. I don't know. I just don't want little crumbs. I wanted something that was a little, didn't even have to be darker. I've been saying that, but a little more focused one way or the another. Is it family oriented, or is it going to be like a cool Western, vibe? But it is what it is. The Mandalorian is what it is. It's better than what we have gotten. The only thing other than this I've liked from Disney was Rogue One. Everything else to me has not been up to even close to par. And we're starting to find out that the cast and crew of Rise of Skywalker feel the same. They've been talking about The Last Jedi, talking about a lot of things, and people are upset over it. And I guess I can understand why. We've been dealing with this for a few years now, everyone hating on us. But now that they just admitted that they didn't like, The Last Jedi, it wasn't their favorite. Those people over in that side are going ballistic. Well, let's just remember we're all fans, and you can like what you want to like. I'll like what I want to like. I'm going to say what I want to say. If you have an issue with that, fine. But, sorry. We all know that movie sucked. So I'm just going to stop it there. This is not going to be another rant about The Last Jedi. Let me know how you liked it. Drop it down in the comments below. It is fun. I enjoy it. So thank you to everyone, guys. You've really been making this a lot of fun for me. It's been really hectic. I have a young family, and I work a lot. So to get videos out, but you guys have been supporting me because YouTube hasn't. So I thank you. So if you could, I'll ask you again, please like and share. And sub if you haven't. And remember, if they are calling you names, they've already lost the war. Have a great day, everybody.